Another day of more Rinascita drip marketing for Wuthering Waves, and today it's even bigger and better than we've ever seen before. There is so much to unpack, so let's get started. Bros started the day with a teaser trailer announcing version 2.0 set to be released on the 2nd of Jan 2025. They also announced that the PS5 version will be released alongside this, so to fellow creators and players, this is the official next chapter in Wuthering Waves for content that has never been shown in any of the previous CBTs. The first teaser we have for Rinascita is a blur view from afar of Raguna, possibly a cutscene of what we'll see in game as we embark to Rinascita. This is because the firework effects can be seen with proper animation in game, which would be a lot of work just to be blurred for the purpose of this video. We can also see the landscape has massive mountains and cliffs with tall structures on them, and what looks like ruins on the left hand side. Keep note of the shape of the clouds in the background. By the end of the teaser, we get a massive glimpse of Rinascita and it is incredible. The first scene is of Roccia stepping along the wall. You can see the sun shining on her back and the clouds, which are these exact clouds currently in the game. Keep this in mind because we'll use this to calculate Rinascita's position on the map. There's an epic transition of flying echoes in what is called the Delta Flying Formation before we see the front end of what we assume is Raguna city of Rinascita. As we enter the city, we can see statues, the next level echoes walking around in harmony with civilization, and the 6 wings that make up a seraphim on the building all the way in the background. All in all, this is creating a very lively atmosphere. We also get a look at another cloud that is this exact cloud currently in the game. When it comes to the echoes, we can see what looks like tassacores for each of them. The big teddy looking type seems to have the shape of a howlercore. The second in line has a more square shape, which seems like a staticoid. They are quite difficult to see clearly, so these cores may actually be different shapes. As the scene continues, there's a very subtle transition from female to male rover that you may have missed. One minor detail that may bug you once pointed out are the duplicated or cloned NPCs and their actions across the panned view of the crowd. There is a possibility of this being intentional to build a theme of Rinascita under control and putting up a facade, but there's not enough evidence to back this theory. The scene then pans out to the title sequence where we can once again see clouds that are the exact same as what is in game. The next scene gives us a closer look at the back end of the city. Here we can clearly see these 6 wings of a seraphim, which are quite symbolic and allow us to theorize a bit of the synopsis of Rinascita. We also see the 3 symbols that were teased in the Black Shores teasers before version 1.3. Previously, Rinascita videos of mine indicated that these 3 symbols are for 3 segments of the same kin. This seems to be true because the building with the Seraphim Wings has these same symbols in a different order. Here we have the yellow symbol at the top this time. In the Black Shores teaser, this was on an underwater building with the green at the top and the yellow in the bottom right. What this indicates is the possibility of 3 powers, leaders or sentinels of Rinascita. The role of a seraphim, which is often depicted with eyes, is to circulate the throne and honor the highest power. This explains why Phoebe's staff has seraphim wings and implies that this staff is a power of its own. Phoebe is also the name of a Titaness from Greek mythology, and her hair and eyes closely resembles the golden hair and purple eyes depicted on Persephone from Kuro's reference material. In mythology, Phoebe was also the original owner of the oracle, which meant that she held the power to communicate with high powers and prophesize. In this case, the oracle could be the seraphim, which would make Phoebe a priestess, not a magistrate. The seraphim is associated with 2 elements being light and fire, and Phoebe's name also means bright, which may indicate that Phoebe will be a fusion or spectra resonator. And her weapon may be a sword because seraphims are often depicted with flaming swords. Long also mentions that power is held by elite families in Rinascita, which means that sentinels may not be as free as we've seen with Joy. The other thing that requires power and money is the artificial awakening research. We know the Court of Savante was funded by a Fraxidus member, and their research was put into recreating the divine miracle. This could mean that Rinascita is actually working with the Fraxidus goals and would explain why Rinascita Rinascita cut connection with Black Shores, and why Frolova is confident of complete control over the second awakening process. This is just a theory connecting all the symbols and clues we have. Remember, we also have the theme of facades because of the masquerade mask, and the theme of rebirth thanks to Rinascita's name and Frolova's spider lily. The next character we have is Brant, who has both a gun and a broadblade. How do we know it's a broadblade and not a sword? Well, the width and length of the blade extending into the bottom left corner of his strip is the same size as a broadblade. We can also see the mask from his teaser, and this is an indication that Brant will have two forms, one using a pistol for ranged combat and one using his broadblade for melee combat. Roccia, who we saw in the trailer, is holding a ghost appearing from her suitcase. This does further suggest she's congenital, however she may also be a special case like Baiji that cannot directly use her forte. And then we have Zani, and oh man, I was so wrong about the tie being an indication of a male character. Even after years of training, min specs are not able to do this to buttons without a bit of flexing. Yeah, this is Zani, start saving your ass right now. Lastly, we have Carlotta. A design and blend of colors are by far my favorite. Kura did a really good job of blending pink and blue without making her look like bubblegum. She's holding what looks like a musket, so this makes me pretty excited as somebody who has enjoyed their fair share of Call of Duty and Widowmaker from Overwatch 2. Before we end off, the location of Rinascita. The clouds in the game are independent of time, meaning they rotate at a constant rate even if you fast forward time. The sun is slightly to the right when the scene starts, and the position of this cloud is to the left of the sun. Now use the background cloud as reference and match the angle of the shadow to see that Rinascita is facing westward. Well, it is a hidden archipelago and we need an open stretch of ocean in the direction Rinascita is facing, so this would lead us to believe it is in the south end of the map or way north to avoid seeing any land on the horizon. Let me know your thoughts and I will see you in the next video.